Okay, so today we're going to talk about 10 cases which have affected ELL educations. And this is for CAA number 3, EBTP 3301. And I'm Kylie Horton, and we're going to be talking. So the first one is Plessy versus Ferguson. It was in 1896 that this happened. It was the first case in the Supreme Court which addressed unfair teachings within schools. This case specifically regarded to students who are African American dealt with segregations, and which left schools who were predominantly not white were a lot more laid back in their teaching, and they were more poorly taught. The case's rulings might not have been about language itself, but the case led to the quote, separate but equal. And this means that even ELL students are at least deserving of the same equal education, supplies, and opportunities to succeed in schools. This next case is from 1923. It's Myers versus Nebraska. The state court ruled that the act could not prevent schools from providing German language instruction outside of the hours of regular school study. In response, the school evolved and taught German in extended recess. This was important to ELLs because it gave a sense of unity that they were allowed to learn outside of school, and they created programs to benefit students from all backgrounds to be able to learn new languages and new cultures. This next one is Farrington versus Toshik, and it's in 1927. Farrington versus Toshik, the court offered further protections of after-school community language programs after attempts by education authorities to restrict the language and heritage being taught by the Japanese and Chinese within Hawaii. This ruling affected the ELLs because by allowing all heritages to be honored and recognized within the schools, it allowed those in the area to realize that their histories are different and allowed for more opportunities to learn in and outside of school. This next one is Independent School District versus Salvatierra. It's in 1930. The school district had Mexican-American parents sued the district for over-segregation because the court sided with the school district that argued that segregation was necessary to teach the students proper English. And this argument didn't really hold because there are two prior cases listed in the slide that suggests that a judge had already mentioned that segregation was not even beneficial to students who were learning English. This directly affected our ELLs by bringing up the Brown versus Board case, where there is no segregation of students because they are all different. So the integration is important because in the real world, we are always around people who are different than us, and it's a good lesson to teach at a young age. Brown versus Board. In 1954, this was a very popular and well-known court case. Brown versus Board led to the integration of schools, which is important to our ELLs considering that this allows them the opportunity to be taught hand in hand with those in their society who do speak English and who do have different cultures than they do. Gay Hung Lee versus Johnson & Johnson. This is in 1971, a little more recent. In San Francisco, Chinese Americans were fighting this desegregation of local schools that provided really good English Chinese programs specifically for the Chinese ELL students in the area. There was this community of parents that took this case to court, and in 1974, the court ruled against the Chinese community, declaring simply Brown versus Board only applied to races, not languages. This court case affected ELLs because to this day there are still struggles between the balance of separate classes versus integrated classes, and it's still something that we're learning to deal with, whether it's a learning disability or just the individual and themselves. Lau versus Nichols. This is in 1974. This case was brought forward once again by Chinese Americans in San Francisco. They said that the program lacked proficiency in English, which left them to sink or swim within the classrooms. The district argued that there was no wrongdoing being done, that it was just simply the Chinese American students received equal treatment as the other students. The reason ELLs are affected by this particular case is it held school to be accountable for teaching students to be the best of their ability, because these students need to be given the best education possible, no matter how hard it may be to teach them. United States versus Texas. This one is a more personal case for us. It occurred in 1971 and 1981. There were multiple issues that they were being discussed, but generally the court ordered the district to plan and create a language program that would help the Mexican American students within Texas learn English, and it forced them to alter it to help Anglo students also learn English or also learn Spanish. So thanks to this program, not only were the ELLs learning a new language, but those who were native Texans were also learning Spanish, because it's one of the most spoken languages across the border and just within the state itself. So it allowed for students to both understand how hard it is to learn a new language and the appreciation for a new culture. Plyer versus Doe. This is in 1982. The court rulings of this case made it unconstitutional to deny children living in the U.S., whether they're legal or not legal, to have a free public education in secondary education. This court case really pushed all students, not only ELLs, to have an opportunity to learn English, and it forced schools to be held accountable for bettering all children and making our future better, no matter if they are, Americans or not. They are in our country and they deserve to be taught. Flores versus Arizona. In 2008 is when this case occurred. The ruling stated that Arizona must comply with the federal district court decision requiring people to be more fair with their instructions to those who are new to English language learners. The court also referenced the No Child Left Behind law and the ELL students and made sure that the school provided the resources regarding the Equal Education Opportunities Act. This ruling is a great staple case by making the states focused on the national government laws that all students, no matter of their race or language, should be provided an equal and fair opportunity to learn and be successful within the United States. And this is my works cited page. These are 3 websites that I have used to help make this PowerPoint. Thank you so much.